Hello and welcome to TLC TV. This is Kyeland Jackson.
And I'm Ben Spicer.
So Ben, we have a good number of sports to talk about this week. Baseball, softball, men's and women's basketball. A lot that happened. So I understand that baseball, they unfortunately had a loss this week. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're doing bad. They've actually been doing, from what I understand, pretty well. What do you think are the keys to their success for going forward in the season?
Well, when you win 19 of your first 20 games, you're definitely having a good season, and statistically they've dominated their opponents. They have had a few close games, so they're not really blowing everyone out, but they do have 6 batters that are batting over 300 this season. Their team ERA is only 1.92, which means they only allow about 2 runs per game. The opponent ERA against Louisville is actually 8.10, so that means their opponents are giving up about 8 runs per game. So when you put those numbers into perspective, as well as Brendan McKay's success, he's actually leading the ACC in batting average and ERA. So all around, the baseball team is just looking very good heading into conference play.
Yeah, they've been really meshing really well, and that Brendan McKay's play has just been phenomenal to the team. But let's switch over to softball as well. I understand that softball, they've been really sweeping. They had a sweep over Pittsburgh, but they just recently had a loss losing 10-1 to Wisconsin. So what are some of the concerns that could come forward for the softball team?
Well, they won 6 straight games heading into that Wisconsin game, and Wisconsin is a ranked team. They came into Almer Stadium, so it's not really a bad loss, I guess you can say. But they need to improve on their fielding percentage. They've really struggled with that this season. They're 227th in the NCAA in fielding percentage, and they've committed 42 errors in 26 games, so nearly 2 errors per game. They definitely need to improve in the field, and they need to improve in terms of bringing in runners on base. They've left a lot of runners on base over the course of the season as well.
Yeah, that fielding is really, it could be detrimental or it could be really important to a team and how it meshes. So let's go ahead and just keep the ball rolling. Let's turn to basketball. So they recently knocked off Tennessee and are about to take on number 1 seed Baylor in their region. So who do you think needs to step up for women's basketball in order for them to make it to the Elite Eight?
Well, Kyeland, I know you love stats, and Baylor is beating their NCAA tournament opponents by an average of 64.5 points. So it's a tall task for Louisville heading into this game. But the play of Asia Durr, we talk about her, it seems like every show. She's played great. Mariah Moore has played good as well, and Maisha Hines-Allen. All 3 of them have averaged over 10 points a game this season. Asia Durr nearly 20 points a game. She's averaged 25 points per game in the NCAA tournament. I think as long as she plays well, as well as the other senior leaders, Hines-Allen and Moore, I think they have a good shot at beating Baylor in the tournament.
And women's basketball has been phenomenal this season, but unfortunately, switching to men's basketball, we had a bit of a crushing defeat against Michigan. What does it mean for the team? How will it look different this next season? And what's the latest just on updates for that team?
Well, we could see the face of the program change drastically if several players do indeed declare for the draft. They've already said they're going to go, but they aren't going to hire an agent. Those 3 players are Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Johnson, and Dang Adele. So they're just kind of testing the waters a bit and see how they're projected to go. If they like their projection, they might actually declare, but they didn't hire an agent, so they are able to return if they don't like where they're projected to go. And then that'll give them something to work towards next year as far as goals and improving their game.
Definitely a lot of progress, some setbacks for teams, but overall, it looks good for at least the future of those men's basketball players. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of TLC TV Sports. This has been Kyeland Jackson reporting.
And I'm Ben Spicer.
We'll see you next time.